Hey, I'm Braz. I'm Cisco. Welcome to another episode of Bad Movie Mountain. In a bit. Nope.
Aww.
Right. So, inalienable, sort of okay. Nope. Nope to thing. Alright, so this time we're going for another 100% random but with someone else to blame edition show. Only a little less 100% random and a little more 1 out of 12 random. This is the Andy Sidaris collection, Girls, Guns and G-Strings. Somebody gave us this after we had an Andy Sidaris film at a bad movie night that we hosted. I think it might have been Adam. And the movie that we hosted is on here. But we haven't seen any of the others. So, since we don't want another McBain...
Nobody wants another McBain.
You probably can't go wrong with Andy Sidaris, I would assume. But because leaving it up to the internet last time is what got us McBain in the first bloody place, this time I think we need a professional. And that professional is going to be 10. Now how we're going to do this is, or how it's going to work, or probably not work, more likely, is we're going to set up a bunch of dog treats, his favourite doggy chocolate drops. Then we're going to usher him in to eat them, and we're going to number each one, and then in reverse order to add more random to the random. Whichever one he picks is the film that we'll be reviewing this time. Play with them?
No.
Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Nice. Okay, so each one of these obviously relates to one of the movies on the back of the pack. There's 12 of them, and this beast is going to choose it for us. Hey, 10. Alright, let's get into position. Ow. That's smooth and perfect. Okay, release the hound. Go on then. Are you serious? Get your chalky drops, you big muppet.
Come on, get your teeth.
Well, I mean, I saw which one he took.
Yeah, I saw which one he took.
I mean, well done, 10. That wasn't how we envisaged it, but, you know.
He took like number 1.
Right, well, Girls, Guns and G-Strings, 10 chose number 1. So the reverse order of that would be number 12. What is number 12?
Number 12 is Savage Beach, not Beast. 2 female government agents transporting a vaccine are forced to land their plane on a remote island that houses more than palm trees and sandy beaches. A sunken World War II Japanese ship containing a fortune in gold is located nearby, and the island is now a base for a nefarious group searching for it. But they're not interested in the vaccine.
I was going to say, they had a vaccine. That's very contemporary.
I assume that is to give a ticking clock to what's going on, and then probably is going to be immediately forgotten. If you remember Hard Ticket to Hawaii, there was a snake that was not important at all, but was awesome.
I am listening and focusing on everything you say and not at all looking at your t-shirt, which I know is going to be a huge hit. So yeah, Savage Beast / Beach, Andy Sidaris. I don't know if any of those are from introductions from Andy Sidaris himself.
Ooh.
That's right, Dan. Push the door open. You got any more of them chuggy drops?
Hey, I'm Braz. And I'm Cisco.
No laughing on the set. What are you doing? Savage Beach! Woo! Oh no, it feels racist already. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's all fine. Andy Sidaris is a dirty old man. I don't think he's a racist old man. This may prove me wrong.
Donna Hamilton, Drug Enforcement Division. Here's my badge. There's my warrant.
Did you?
Here's my shotgun.
Whoa!
Whoa!
You're under arrest.
So they... Hang on, were they... What? Oh, she's out. She's done. Amazing. Okay.
They're getting away! Donna, you've got to stop thinking it's just another pretty face.
What
That's
the
murder.
fuck?
That's murder. Oh, apparently it's not murder. It's cartoon violence.
Before you go to prison, make damn sure you tell your friends what happened here today.
And the next time you try and smuggle China White through our territory, you get that bomb up your ass.
Okay.
Okay. Whoa!
Whoa, whoa! What? Andy!
Appropriate for a federal...
Andy Sidaris!
Yes, nurse?
This is the last of the serum.
If we don't get more, the children won't make it.
They do look very ill, don't they?
I'll get on the radio.
Serum for what? What are they suffering from? Other than boredom by the looks of it.
Honolulu.
That's a lot of hats on the wall.
Read me over.
That's normal for hospitals, right?
Shane Aviation? I'm sorry, Shane is into a new project.
Hang,
Oh,
whoa!
whoa!
He's really up against it.
Who's that?
He,
Oh, I see. Just one moment, I'll page
What?
him.
Is he a doctor?
you're gonna have to do so much blurring out of nipples.
Yes.
Shane, Dr. Santos is calling from the Marshall Islands.
Tell Nico I'll be right
A
there.
lot of kids are kind of ill, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna have to censor all of this. I'm gonna censor 90% of this film, aren't I? Your fax machine.
Private line. I'll get it. Hello?
Is it plugged into anything?
I want you to see the special equipment I have for you.
Well, we're pretty isolated here, and I don't always get my share.
Oh,
Are you comfortable with a big gun?
oh
horrible.
God!
This is horrible.
This baby's larger than most anything around.
Oh, for
Really? Because your
fuck's
helicopter's
sake.
Not as
fucking
impressive
tiny.
size.
Ah, that's for Taryn. This arrow has an explosive charge that ignites 3 seconds after penetration.
That one doesn't work as an innuendo.
For a single shot.
Wait, is he Q then? Is he their Q?
That's her problem.
What?
Is he giving them the serum or what? Or is he just giving them weapons?
Why on a delivery of medicine to a to a hospital has he given her an explosive crossbow bolt and crossbow? Why?
Wings, check. Wheels,
There's
check.
a bad storm raging at your destination. Satellite weather shows a break due 9 or 10
Oh, he's an
hours.
amazing actor too, Cisco.
In and out during the break, right?
Right.
Okay.
Radio is for 4 hours.
Was he hired because he makes them look like better
Get my
actors?
all-purpose package.
And here's the South Pacific Area Map 47113R.
Okay, I take it back, I take it back.
But so he gave her a big gun for the sexual innuendo, and then give the other one a crossbow with
a single exploding-
explosive bolt.
But why?
For
Aren't they delivering
they're delivering medicine, yeah,
emergency medicine?
and they're literally landing right next to the hospital they're delivering it to. So
So they had to call him up to bring them guns because they themselves don't have guns for some reason. And he needed to desperately fly there and
What?
leave his lady friend all alone with his teeny tiny helicopter so he could give them both a gun each.
yes. But the other thing is they already had guns because they started off the thing by shooting up a warehouse.
Well, to be fair, they had
An Uzi.
an Uzi between them. Computer Control Central.
I
Nice.
took it away from the Star Wars security analysis mode. The main line of defense for our country, and I did it for you.
You won't be sorry.
Seth is amazing. That's a US Army car, see, Cisco. I can tell. I can tell.
That's the very symbol of the US Army, isn't it?
Meep, meep. Oh no.
Oh no!
Don't read it!
Oh god, I love the fact that it's
Topple
just...
Sickles.
Andreas, this is Paul Michaels of Computer Control Central. Got top security clearance.
Here's the computer disk from satellite reconnaissance, Captain.
Appreciate
That's
the
side.
honor of
Don't
giving
put it
me
in
our
sideways.
time.
You just put the disc in sideways.
About having an army officer monitoring our team.
Fucking muppet.
Even though my presence was requested by the State Department, I'm here to offer my assistance directly under your command.
Another amazing actor.
Major Harrison. Rodrigo Martinez. Diplomatic
Seth is just amazing and everything. We need to find more movies with him.
I'm surprised to see the Army using your military talent to serve as a delivery boy.
My talents as an expert pilot, astronaut, and technical advisor will be utilized to their fullest. If we do detect any treasure, I will provide the means to get to it and be there with you to secure it.
Acting talent versus acting talent in the battle for all time. This is amazing. This is a battle of ages, Cisco.
Every Japanese warship known to have sunk in this area of the South Pacific between 1941 and 1943.
I made this on
Computer has
paint.
Well, you had your racism.
Yeah. Here it comes, thick and fast.
Wait,
Chicken.
they're taking live chickens with them?
Chicken.
Is that the vessel that sank?
I hope so,
Because if they're finding that on a fucking satellite, like, that's a... There must be millions of vessels that size that have sunk by this time.
The region. Shortly after the third radio check-in.
What is it?
You betcha. Good luck, Doctor.
Don't just say serum. What is it?
Is it wise to be...
Another fact, that's a hospital. Okay then.
This is getting very convoluted because the other...
What the fuck delivery was that?
It's getting extremely convoluted because now you've got at least 3 different groups plus those 2, which I'm assuming are going to get involved in the search for the gold.
Airplanes are
What?
What? Who are this group? Which group is this belong to?
This is the... These are the ones who were speaking to the elderly guy who was there. Yeah.
Well, the one that they're replacing, yeah.
But I don't know who...
I don't know who these people are.
No idea who these people
We've
are.
just beaten them up and taken their IDs.
Here's the disc.
And another disc.
Make a copy of it before tomorrow.
Damn, it's going to take all night. It's going to take all night to make a copy.
But there's so many discs now as well.
Look over there, Donna. Is that land? Let's go for it.
So, is he double-crossing the double-crossers?
Well,
Has he got his own thing apart from them?
I think... Well, unless it turns out everything's been orchestrated by him, but that wouldn't make any sense as to why they tricked the Japanese people, because the Japanese people just literally were giving them the information. There was no value in attacking.
There's no reason, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm genuinely baffled by a lot of this thus far. Despite the fact that they're having constant exposition dumps, and we are now onto the third fucking sex scene.
And he's in all of them. When you watched Hard Ticket, I bet you looked at Seth and went, man, I wish I saw him having sex a lot.
Or is this just going to be tasteful nudity?
Let's hit the jacuzzi.
Nope, no tastefulness. This is Andy Sidaris after all.
You dirty old man. Andy, you dirty old man.
Yay! We're wet and naked. Oh god, full frontal.
Don't care that you have no idea where you are, have very little food or any chance of survival.
Well, here's the other thing. They have a plane with a working radio. As far as we know, they haven't said that the radio was broken. They said they blew a cylinder. So why would you not be sending out an SOS?
This will be them calling them, watch.
Hello? Oh my god. What? Alright, we'll be right there, Shane.
What? She didn't give it any chance for anybody to say anything. Hello, oh my god.
Gotta go relieve Shane.
Andy! And the music is so on the fucking nose as well.
Hell.
Okay, bye.
What the fuck was that?
Anyway, elsewhere.
Come, we'll look this side of the island first.
Why?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
We're Americans. We run a cargo airline on Molokai.
We were transporting some medical supplies. We got caught in a storm. Our plane went down 4 days ago.
A little off course, weren't you? They're lying. Who do you work for?
Our plane's right around that bend. Go check it out.
Let's tie him up.
Tie this up.
Lighten up! Come on! Okay, hey, we have no choice.
Poor Seth. They're always beating Seth up.
Good for these bimbos.
If only we'd brought real shovels. And not these tiny survival shovels, you know? If only we'd assumed we would have to dig up gold. Instead of the survival shovels, we could be digging properly. And that guy wouldn't have to be using his hands.
A single box.
A tiny, crappy box as well.
We've done it.
Talk about your golden oldies.
My people can live again. Give me one. Give me a bar. Let me touch it.
Oh.
Don't pretend it's the heaviest thing you've ever seen. Come on. Can't lift too heavy.
Something's wrapped in gold-coloured foil.
Our time has arrived. The party shall endure.
Oh no!
Oh, okay then.
Okay. Well, they'd already said they were double, but this doesn't make any sense now because they had no reason to ambush the Japanese people who were giving him the information anyway.
Let's get out of
Why are they killing her specifically, though?
We're freelance and come with our own set of loyalties.
Okay.
How'd the blood get up onto his face?
We don't need to know where anybody is in relation to anybody else. Let's just... That's fine.
One box of gold? One small box of fucking gold?
A tiny box of gold, yeah. What was that? Oh, just tripwire. You couldn't just pointed guns at them?
Never call me a bimbo again. Let's tie them up now.
We're good guys. American military.
You could barely carry one before.
I was about to say he's picking it up with a single hand.
Yes, but he's acting like it's heavy.
6 bars of gold.
Probably get more if you knocked over a pawn shop.
Oh. Well, he died ridiculously easily.
Remember, Seth, it's really heavy. That's how you act really heavy.
He thought 6 bars of gold would pay for an entire revolution?
Well, if you remember back to McBain.
Yeah, but they had McBain on their side who did nothing.
Oh, you sure have a way with words.
You know, under different circumstances, I know we could become really good friends.
Bravo! She died.
I love,
another machete?
I love how redundant to the entire film he is. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and it's obviously amazing. The look on his face, it was suddenly Naked Gun-esque.
Oh, is this where he explains?
No, there's no explanations. That's an edit. Nice. Nonsensical and nice.
Until this day, there was no way for us to atone for our sins.
Where did he get the photograph from then?
Lived just long enough for all the exposition, then dies.
That's the saddest story I've ever heard.
Why?
Why would anybody... What? Why would you care?
I'd just be baffled more than anything else. It wasn't like they'd been speaking with him or anything, you know. He had tried to kill them, he set them free, and he helped them when they got hijacked. Did they get the gold?
Girl, sure you feel like flying?
These 6 bars of gold
Well,
that...
it's a little like falling off a horse. The sooner you get back up in the saddle, the better off you are.
Saddle? You want to talk saddle?
What?
What?
That's funny. This place doesn't look like a singles bar to me. Or whatever it is that you call yourself. Do you dance?
I think so. Rocky, you do have those little feet painted on the floor, don't you?
You bet I do.
Let's give it a try.
Shall we?
When did this become Saved by the Bell?
Also, describing him as loyal, I mean, I suppose maybe in a sex-positive kind of way. He literally flirted with her directly in front of the girl he was previously just shagging.
Well, thanks, Andy. Again.
This is awful music. What the hell is this?
That was an amazing shot. Okay, well, there you go. Savage Beach. Mostly just confusing. And far too much of Seth having sex, quite frankly. Alright, well, clearly we... Oh, good. There's 10 having a shit. Yay! Nice one, Ken. Well, Savage Beach is just hard ticket to Hawaii, just nowhere near as good.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
All right, thanks everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for sharing that.
All right, Cisco, what is Andy Sedaris's Savage Beach all about?
Two female sort of agents. They don't really. I think they're customs, but it doesn't really say.
Donna and Tyrion, I think her name is.
Yeah. They do a raid on a warehouse for drugs. Doesn't really have any bearing on the plot. They get an emergency call to deliver some medicine to a hospital. Doesn't really pay that much attention to the plot. They fly to the hospital. They deliver the medicine. On the way back, there's a storm. They get caught in. They get forced down onto an island. In the meantime, there's another plot, which is that there's some gold on an island. Turns out to be their island. There's a lot of shenanigans and what I think is supposed to be plot twists, but none of it actually is relevant. And some military guys and Seth land on an island. On that island, they find them. Seth is immediately betrayed by his men, and then they get the gold by killing all his men and Seth, and then they leave. And that's the end.
Basically, it's hard ticket to Hawaii, just nowhere near as good.
Hard Ticket to Hawaii had so much that this did not have. I mean, no snake.
Oh wait, what we should say is this random episode, 100% random, but with someone else to blame, edition 2, nowhere near as bad as the last one.
No, that
it's
is
true. Nothing as
I
bad as McBain.
I mean, on the McBain scale, it's fucking genius.
Fuck you, McBain. You racist piece of shit film.
I mean, if you wanted boobs, there's plenty in this movie. And they show up randomly. Just like, yeah, boobs, boobs, boobs. There's literally one scene, it cuts from a scene to 4 Playboy, because most of the actresses in this are Playboy playmates.
Yes.
One of the actors is a Playboy... Playgirl. Playboy mate? Whatever
I don't know what the official term is for that.
But yeah, basically lots of scenes.
Teeny helicopter.
But there's 4 of them, and there's literally, they cut from the warehouse scene to all 4 of them in a hot tub with their boobs out.
Now, when he says cut,
he
means smash cut.
There's no warning. You don't even know the scene is about to end. It just kind of goes, bing, boobs.
Ooh. By the way, you're a lot taller than I remember, Tim.
I have strong calves.
Now, I've said multiple times it's not as good as Hard Ticket to Hawaii, which we love. And it's not. It's okay for the most part, though.
There are a few genuine chuckles in this. It wasn't like a painful experience to watch.
No. I'll tell you something. What it was a confusing experience watching.
I think they were trying to be like, they're trying to add mystery or
some intrigue in
plot twists and stuff, but none of the plot twists really were twists.
None of them made
none of them made a lot of sense, because
none of them made any impact on the story or the film in any way.
My summary, I kind of missed out because there's no plot twist with the girls. Their bit in the movie is pretty much that they go to they're delivering medicine, they crash land, and then they're involved in the gold hijinks. Now the gold stuff, there's a whole load of there's about 4 different groups at one point. So there's the US military, there's what turns out to be the CIA, but you don't know that at the start.
His character is completely redundant because he replaces another character which would have filled the exact same slot in the film.
Because he's a CIA agent posing, replacing an American army person.
A major, I think?
Yes, and he then fulfills the exact role that person would have played.
For the rest of the film.
And it's not revealed until the end that he's CIA.
Captain, my real name isn't Major Harrison. Bruce Christian, Special Operative CIA.
His introduction to the narrative is you see someone who kind of looks like him in a car suspiciously marked US military. That car is on its way to a meeting or something, you assume. Midway, this guy that we're talking about, CIA agent guy, who for the rest of the film is basically the guy he's replacing, tranks him, switches places with him, opens the top secret document with like one bit of paper in.
One receipt, one hotel receipt. It was like, it couldn't have been more than a couple of inches.
He then goes to his meeting and then for the rest of the film takes the place of the person. Now, given that person's only been in the film for a few minutes before he's replaced, obviously we know nothing about him.
No, it wasn't even introduced.
No, that's
I don't
my
think he
point.
had a single line.
This guy is then introduced as him, and you as the audience already know that it's not him. So like you said, you wait for the twist, but the twist apparently already happened, which was the switcheroo, which plays, as we've said, no part in the film. It doesn't change the story. It has no impact on any of the characters, except at the end, when he is left with the other US military guy, who he then confesses that he's CIA, and that the US military isn't coming to collect the gold, the CIA is coming to collect the gold, but it's still going to the exact same place it would be if the US military were collecting it,
the gold.
thus having no impact on the story, and everyone else has left the film at this point, either dead or moved on. So there is no impact one way or another, and you're like, well, why have that at all?
It's almost like those lines of dialogue are just there because they needed something to explain why he did what he did. Because
they filmed it. It was awesome. It was in the film, but they decided to drop that storyline and not have him a bad guy or whatever, and so they needed to explain it away.
Here's the other thing, because that's like plot twist number one. That's not really a plot twist. There's about three others, because Seth is introduced as representing the Philippines government.
I'll say this before we do that. The basic plot is that during World War II, Japan stole gold from the Philippines and then subsequently lost it. Right? Yes. And Japan now, an ambassador, i.e. one of the people who literally stole the gold, is trying to give it back to the Philippines.
It was on a boat that sank, and the American military comes in as they've got a satellite system.
No. The American military come in because they're the good guys. What's actually happening is Japan is trying to give the gold back to the Philippines, so America gets involved to help Japan give the gold back to the Philippines, because nothing can happen in the world without the American intervention to get it done properly. So where we're about to jump into, when everything just goes fucking mental and you're going, why did that happen? Who's he? As you said, Seth is a representative of the Philippines.
Yes.
Official or otherwise, you don't know, doesn't matter until later. You have two representatives of Japan who are working on behalf of one of the soldiers who stole the gold, presumably.
An admiral. He's an admiral.
He was there when the
dying
gold...
and he feels sorry, so
He was there when the gold went missing. So you have those as another party. You have the US as another party who are helping Japan give it back. You now have the CIA as another party who are also helping Japan give it back, but behind the backs of the US military.
And then you have this other party that you don't know who they are.
But twist number two. Twist number two is that two more Asian-looking gentlemen
replace the Japanese gentlemen.
And replace the Japanese gentleman who had information to give to Seth, who's representative of the Philippines, so they can find the gold. That twist goes nowhere because the people who replace the representatives of Japan steal the information from the representatives of Japan and give it to Seth, which is what the Japanese were going to do in the first place, So why
And then
did they replace them?
He gives them a payment. But then
Yes,
it's
he
revealed...
pays them. So at first you're like, oh, it's another faction who are working for themselves. But then no, they're working for Seth. And you're like, why did you pay them to kill and replace the Japanese company to get the information that the Japanese company were going to give you anyway?
They went all the way there to give you that information. You didn't need to kill them, take the information, and then have it given back to you. Because then he gives that information to the Americans who use their satellite system, who cross-reference everything and figure out exactly where the boat sank. Only they never go to a sunken boat; they go to an island.
They forget about the sunken boat plot. That's done. There's no sunken boats now. It's just somewhere on an island. Forget about the boats.
So yes, and then they turn up, and there's a double cross there, and they double cross Seth. But none of the stuff with there's no point in having that bit with him double crossing the Japanese. There's a computer expert.
I was going to say, I'm getting to the next twist. The next twist, twist number 3, 4, 5, and 6.
The computer expert.
Computer expert, I love him. He's amazing because he doesn't know how computers work. And man.
You screamed at the TV when he put the disc in sideways.
The disc that the Japanese party were bringing to give to Seth, to give to the Americans, to try and find where the boat sank. They give to their computer expert that they've brought in because they need a computer expert to use the computer. And they give him a floppy disk, which he immediately puts in fucking sideways. And I'm screaming, because I can't believe he's doing that. Like, any human being's doing that, especially one that's supposed to be a computer expert. He puts the fucking thing in sideways. That's side. Don't put it in sideways. You just put the disc in sideways. Fucking muppet. That guy apparently secretly takes a copy of that disc. The disc that the Japanese people were going to give Seth, and then he sent 2 other people to take over as them, to steal the disc off them. He then takes another copy from the computer expert, who, it's shown later, next twist, has been paid by a giant briefcase, presumably full of money, to take another copy of the disc that he already has twice by this point.
Yes, he's got.
Cut to, and spoilers for later, this is my favourite scene. I'm sorry, it's fucking amazing, and it's all because of Seth's performance, who is amazing through this. He's the best.
He is a block of wood.
Far too many sex scenes.
Yes.
But he's amazing in all his acting talents. He's in the desert. He's driven the computer expert out into the middle of nowhere, because that's how these things work. And he's giving him a briefcase, presumably full of money, for his services in copying the disc. Because you need a computer expert to copy
the disc that the Americans gave him anyway, and then took him to the island where the disc said to go.
So he now has another copy of the disc from the computer expert. The computer expert is standing comically far away from him. Not suspicious at all, as Seth's in the car. Seth gives the best and most stupid line reading of the most stupid line, and I assume fucks it up, and it's not supposed to be a joke. Which the computer expert opens the briefcase, again, comically far away from Seth, and blows up. Which is another twist, apparently. Seth's line reading then is amazing, and he says, "Don't spend it all in one piece," and then gives the best laugh I've ever heard. And drives away. And I'm just sitting watching it going, what the fuck is this?
Don't spend it all in one piece.
What's happening and why? Why did he blow up the guy that he paid to make a copy of a disc that he already had?
He didn't need a copy of the disc. Why pay him? Why waste the money on explosives and kill him?
Why kill him?
Why risk killing the Japanese people when you were going to get the information from them anyway? All he needed to do was just basically...
Oh.
And then...
So that's another twist.
Yeah.
Then we cut. Well, actually, no, I'm saying we cut to it as it's next in my brain. What I remember from this film: Seth's having sex with a woman in a car who is talking about a revolution and how they are the party to lead it.
Yes.
Which is when it comes out that Seth might be a bad guy. I mean, I know he's blown people up and all the rest of the shit, but he might be a bad guy. I know he's paid 2 Asian assassins to take over the Japanese party, but he might be a bad guy.
We don't find that out until he's on the island.
Well, you say we don't find that out. We saw it. And we're just like,
Oh,
so
yeah,
he
he paid them, yeah.
He gave them a Buddha statue, which in
This
its
is so
butt,
confusing because it doesn't make sense.
In the butt of the Buddha statue was rolled up bills. That's how he paid them to take over the identities, which we see them doing in great detail, taking their passports or their IDs and splicing their pictures on.
They then turn up at the island as his men as well, so there was no reason he needed to pay them at all.
Presumably they were already his men.
Yeah.
But here's another because fuck it. Toward the end, the Asian assassins show up on the island where Seth has been taken to by the American government and American military, although we're only supposed to think they're military at this point. And they show up with Seth's girlfriend, who we've watched him have sex with many times throughout the film, and then proceed to kill specifically her.
Yes.
So it's a triple cross, because Seth is double crossing the Americans to get the money, not for the Philippines, but to fund a revolution a la McBain.
Because just why?
Because twist.
You need it, and then yes, then somebody some random Deus Ex Machina, old Japanese man, or rather young Japanese actor
bad
in a
old
very
man
bad
makeup.
old makeup. He kills one of them from behind with a machete throw from quite a hell of a distance. And he's basically the last surviving of the Japanese soldiers who were sent away with the gold.
Who lives on the island now, defending the gold.
He doesn't speak until he's dying. Spoilers.
Fucking spoilers, dude! What the fuck?
So he's introduced on the island because there's some hijinks with the girls on the island.
Do you want to know who's not important to this film in any way?
The girls.
The main actresses. We haven't mentioned them because their plot is literally they're also there.
As I saw when I did the plot summary, I did their plot, and it kind of cuts out most of them. But then their plot, at least, I mean, it's terrible, but it makes some. It's straightforward. Whereas what we've got on the other side is, because we're talking about all these plot twists and so the one thing I want to say is it's all explained through exposition and it's all dull as fuck.
Specific information about where the boat was heading in 1943 in order to narrow down the possibilities.
Right now, 2 agents from the Japanese Army Intelligence Corps collecting information from an Admiral Kenji Anada.
Looted gold had been transported from Manila to the central island late
Finally, after nearly half a century, we are ready to reap the spoils of the Great War.
What a coup. This fortune will support the revolution.
We checked out every detail, down to his cell phone. During World War II, I believe General Tomoyuki Yamashita was the man most responsible for the looting of my country.
Reveals 127 sunken ships within the target area. Now, I'll take this and cross-reference it with the information provided by
as an expert pilot, astronaut, and technical advisor will be utilized to their fullest. If we do detect any treasure, I will provide the means to get to it and be there with you secure.
I've just taken care of that, Captain.
Good job.
Thank you. And our company is very grateful for the government contracts, Captain. I'm very grateful to be off to the Bahamas for 1 month.
Vacation?
Yes, sir.
Oh, God. I'm just trying to think. I mean, from a technical standpoint, the camera work was fine.
From a technical standpoint, the Sedaris family can do fine. A lot of the second unit stuff was shot by his son. So most of the stuff on the island with them was all shot by his son. Arlene, Sedaris. His wife produced it, or at least co-producer. He wrote and directed it, so it is a Sedaris family production. And you know what? They can make movies. Their content is questionable. Their script is questionable.
The script
the
is
actors
insane.
is questionable at best. But they can make a fucking movie.
Yeah, no booms in shots. There were some explosions that were competently executed.
In shot. No booms in shot. Some booms were in shot.
Plenty of boobs in shot.
Oh yeah, the boobs were in shot.
Yeah. Never
How
failed.
much of that was Arlene? Or do you think she wasn't? She just.
I'm just
she
imagining
knew who was buying it and who was getting sold to.
I mean, like, you look at the cover: girls, guns, and G-strings. I mean, the people. I don't think there was any shadow of a doubt what they were making. They got Playboy Playmates
for a reason.
For a reason, or for two reasons. No.
I know, Donna. That was inappropriate for a federal agent. It won't happen again.
We wouldn't recommend going out finding Savage. I mean, there's Return to Savage Beach on here, but that one's that's late 90s.
I mean, I'm curious about a lot of it. Really, the thing about it is because obviously this one follows on from Hard Ticket to Hawaii, and they even have the same joke at the end that Tyrion is not officially an agent. So
she's allowed to steal.
So she's literally allowed to steal. So yeah, in the Hard Ticket to Hawaii, she steals a bag of diamonds. In this, she steals all the gold.
Gold, apparently. But we don't. Either way, we don't recommend finding Savage Beach. Sorry. But like I said, there's 11 more on here.
Yeah.
So we'll be back to it at some point.
There has to be others that are either as good as or almost just as good as Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
We bloody well hope. Don't let us down, Sedaris, you dirty old
There
man.
wasn't a single sex doll in this.
There was no inflatable sex doll. That's true. I'm not going to do thumbs up.
You've got to, but to understand that joke, by the way, you have to have seen Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
You need to stop talking about Hard Ticket, because when we get round to it, you're going to have spoiled all the stuff. Savage Beach.
Sort of okay.
Yeah, Shelf is sort of okay.
Can't put it on the shelf.
If you couldn't
shit.
figure out from what we're saying, it's sort of okay. But do you want to know the best bit, though? Do you want to know the best bit? You have to draw Savage Beach.
Do I? Yeah. Just boobs.
Boobs and beach. Boobs on the beach. Two giant boobs sitting on the beach. And maybe a katana or something.
Boobs.
Boobs! Alright, that's that.
Oh, you want to play too? You're going to save the Doctor from the Daleks, or just shove your ass in shot? Hello.
So,
Savage Beach.
Savage Beach. Breasts on the beach.
Obs.
Sort of okay.
Sort of okay, yeah. There we go. It balances out the eliminators.
So, Savage Beach. Sort of okay. On the shelf of sort of okay. Very soon to be pinned down and...
Blue tacked.
I can't think of an innuendo to do with blue tack.
I can't, and I'm glad of that fact.
But the Girls, Guns and G-String collection will go back on the mountain. It wasn't really on the mountain. It was on the super secret hidden mountain for the 10 Picks episode. And it'll go back there, which, you know, isn't a thing that exists. But it does now. Alright.
Savage Beach. Sort of okay.
Until next time.
See you later, you dirty old man.
Until 10's next tasty choice thing. We should come up with a better name for it than that, right?
Maybe. At least it's not memorable. Unlike my t-shirt.